Why you're struggling to grow your cleaning business. So this is a topic I get asked an awful lot from business owners, and it can often be the case that your business just stops growing or the growth slows, you haven't done anything different, and it's unclear why the business is not growing as it once was. Is it something that you're doing specifically in your business? Is it something that's happening in the broader economy? In this video, I want to take you through the 3 most common reasons I come across for why people's businesses stop growing. It's really important that you listen to all 3, because if you omit any of these areas, it's likely to have a detrimental impact on your business growth. So let's jump straight into it. So first of all, you are doing everything yourself. This is a very common problem I come across, and it is very common and an obvious place to start that when you are starting your cleaning business, that you're doing everything. Maybe you are, as the business owner, doing some of the cleaning yourself. You're fielding client inquiries, you are dealing with existing clients that are providing feedback or wanting to change their timing, so you're dealing with the diaries. Maybe you're even looking to hire new cleaners as well, so you're running interviews, you're scanning applications and CVs. So particularly in the early days as the business owner, you tend to be doing everything. And when the client volumes are low, when the job volumes are low, this is just about manageable. But what you'll find is that as the business grows and you have more clients in your books, if you're still doing the cleaning yourself, you're probably spending more time in the field, but with more clients means more client management, more client feedback. You're probably getting more client leads in through the door as the business brand starts to evolve as well. So what you find is that if you are doing everything yourself, your time really gets squeezed. There's not enough time in the day to do everything. And inevitably, as the time gets squeezed, you start to drop the ball in certain areas. So, say you have more clients and you're doing the cleaning in the field, well, that means that you won't be able to get back to new client inquiries very quickly, or you might even miss them completely. Those new clients have maybe gone elsewhere to another cleaning company, so you've lost out on that custom. Or maybe you have one of your existing clients wanting to provide some feedback, or maybe there's been an issue or complaint and it's taken you a while to get back, and that's caused the client to be unhappy. Maybe that client cancels. So what you see typically is that as the business starts to grow and there's more clients and there's more activity, it becomes impossible for you to maintain the quality of what you're doing across the business. So this is the first main issue, and the most common problem I come across is that you may find that you can grow your business from 0 to say 5k a month, and it's basically just you doing everything. But then for whatever reason, maybe it took relatively little time to go from 0 to 5, but then from 5 to 10 you're really struggling. It's just taking a lot longer. The growth isn't there, you're struggling, it's stressful. So point 1 is that you're doing everything yourself. So what you need to do and what you need to realize is that as you grow the business, you need to start letting go of the day-to-day management. You need to start getting people to come in and help you, whether it's fielding new client inquiries, or maybe it's assistance with running your marketing or your recruitment or running cleaner interviews. You've got to realize that you can no longer do everything yourself. And if you think that you can do, what you'll find is that your growth really starts to taper off, and you'll probably end up capping yourself out at a certain revenue level. So there's various things that we can do to hand over day-to-day operations to other people. So the first and the most obvious thing to say is that if you are doing the cleaning yourself in the field, a priority for you should be to try to get yourself out of the field. You probably want to hire a cleaner, a part-time cleaner. You may even work side by side as a pair of 2, but eventually what you want to do is to try to reduce the amount of time that you are in the field. And what that means is that you'll end up spending more time on the business rather than in the business. And that comes from a fantastic book called The E-Myth. And what you will find is that if you spend more time on figuring out how you grow your business and manage your business, funnily enough, the business will start to accelerate. So a very obvious place to start is by getting people to help you with the cleaning itself. The next stage is once you are out of the field and doing more of what I would call the office admin type of tasks, things like dealing with new client inquiries or dealing with existing clients or interviewing new cleaners. At that stage, you'll probably have a bit more time. So you could probably do a lot of this yourself. But again, you'll get to a certain stage in the business where it is grown sufficiently large that there's just, too many new leads coming in. Obviously a great position to be in. You've got too many cleaner applications to go through, too many cleaner interviews to take. And it's at that stage where hiring a virtual assistant is a great next step. So a virtual assistant, for those of you that don't know, is essentially a office manager, someone that can help with the day-to-day running of your business. They don't necessarily need to be in an office together with you in your area. They could be somewhere else in the country, or they can be overseas as well, and they can log in remotely and take calls, log into your inbox, respond to new clients. But what that does is that, if your time as the business owner running the day-to-day operations is capping out and you feel like you're getting a bit overwhelmed, it's at that point that you need to bring in a virtual assistant. And that what you'll find is that if you're no longer in the field doing the cleaning and you're doing less time in the day-to-day admin tasks of the business, it frees you up to think more strategically. You can think about more in terms of, how do I grow my business? What marketing channels do I need to look into next? Can I more effectively interview and onboard new cleaners? And again, that will take your business to the next level, and your revenue will jump up after that. So don't do everything yourself. Find people to help you as you grow the business, and that will mean that you stop capping out at certain revenue levels. Point 2 is then your workforce churning too fast. So what do I mean by this? So, as I talk about on the rest of my channel, I believe that a great way to grow a house cleaning business is by focusing on growing your recurring clients. Your recurring clients, those homeowners that want you to come in every week or every 2 weeks or every month to clean their properties for you. And, this is a great way to build a business, because every single month you're taking your previous clients and adding more on there. However, one of the natural tendencies of a business that has recurring clientele in them is that you will get a percentage of those clients churning off or cancelling every month. So they could be cancelling for a number of reasons. They could be moving out of town, or they could maybe have budgetary issues, financial issues that they don't have the money to, or maybe they are unhappy with the service and the follow-up. Obviously that third category is something that you really, really want to try to nail down and eradicate as much as possible. But assuming you have, you will just naturally get a percentage of your clients churning every month, as I said, moving out or budgetary issues. And as long as your churn rate isn't too high, it's not a huge problem. Obviously, we want to minimize it as much as possible. We can obviously, work on our quality control to minimize the amount of cancellations due to quality issues. But for those people moving out of town, or even our budgetary people cancelling due to budget, there's not a whole amount we can do. A number to have at the back of your pocket is a 5% monthly churn rate. This, if you are at 5% or less, it means that you're running a high quality business. You're probably getting very few cancellations due to quality. What that means is that 5% of your clients will cancel every month. So let's say you have 100 clients at the beginning of this month. If at the end of the month, five out of those 100 have cancelled, that would be 5% churn rate. If 4 had cancelled, it would be 4. Conversely, if 10 out of those 100 cancelled, that's a 10% churn rate. And that's actually getting towards the higher levels where you may have quality issues. But if you are at that 5% level or lower, it means that you're running a high quality business. And one of the side comments to make about the churn rate is that obviously to grow this business in future months, we need to replace those clients that have cancelled with the same number and add a few more on to continue to grow. So if we had a 5% churn rate, we have 100 clients, we know that the next month we need to find 5 additional recurring clients to make up for those 5 that we lost last month, and then we probably need some more on top of that to keep growing the business. So if we add 10 new clients, recurring clients next month, it means that we grow from 100, we replace the 5 that we lost, so 100 times 5 back up to 100, and then there's 5 more on top, so we go to 105. So the business keeps growing on that side. However, if your churn rate is too high, it's going to be difficult or more challenging to grow the business. So let's say rather than a 5% churn rate, we have a 15% churn rate, which would be extremely high. You've probably got lots of quality issues in there. So that means that in the next month, we would need to find 15 new recurring clients to replace those that we lost to even keep our heads above water at break even. We'd need 20 to be above. So point 2 is about your client churn rate. If your client churn rate is too high, what you will probably find is that it gets harder and harder to grow as the business scales up, because you're just losing more clients in absolute terms every single month. It means that your marketing is having to work harder. You're having to find new places to find your new clients. You having to try different marketing channels. And what that means is that if the marketing, if you're having to work your marketing harder, and maybe you can find 10 recurring clients, but to get to 15, it's a much bigger stretch. What that means is that the business will just not grow as much. So if you have a high churn rate, this is often a symptom of not being able to grow very quickly. Obviously, if we can reduce that churn rate from say 15% to 10% to 5%, it means that we don't need to find as many new clients each month to replace those. And it means that our chances of growing the business, continuing to grow the business, is going to be a lot higher as well. So think about and track your client churn rate. It's something that is super important. If you don't get on top of your churn rate, it's going to really have a detrimental effect on growing your business in the future. So point 3 is also related to churn, but this time it's about cleaner churn rate. So in exactly the same way that clients churn every month because of budget, because of moving out of town, you will get the same issue with your cleaners as well. So cleaners may move out of town, or maybe a cleaner moves because they're getting what they perceive to be a better job opportunity at another cleaning company. So you will get cleaners joining you every month, but then you'll get cleaners leaving every month as well. And particularly as the business grows and you get more cleaners on your books, you'll be able to track a churn rate with your cleaners as well. You can see how long are they staying with us on average. Is it 6 months? Is it 12 months? Is it 18 months? And obviously if we have a high churn rate on our cleaners, it means that we need to recruit new cleaners to replace those that have left, because if we don't have any cleaners there, we can't serve our clients. It means our revenue gets hit, and obviously that will have a detrimental effect on our revenue and our revenue growth as well. So your cleaner churn rate is as important as your client churn rates. We need to be tracking both extremely carefully. However, there is a further downside for having a high churn rate with your cleaners, and that is that your risk of client cancellation whenever one of your cleaners leaves tends to really spike up. So if you have a cleaner with, say, a full calendar of recurring clients, maybe they're cleaning for 2 recurring clients a day, 5 days a week, that's 10 recurring clients, 10 weekly recurring clients. If that cleaner leaves, and the assumption is, they'll probably have some, really happy clients, maybe they'll have some clients in between, some clients that are less bothered, but the risk of those happy clients cancelling really spikes up. Some of those happy clients may be happy to try another cleaner, but every single cleaner, they tend to work differently. They tend to have different style. Maybe a client really gets on well with one cleaner, but there's less engagement with the next. There's lots and lots of changes that happen. You could be training them in the same way, go through the same training program, but maybe their style and how they engage with the client is different. So for all these reasons, if a cleaner decides to leave your firm for whatever reason, you get a higher chance of getting some client cancellations off the back of that as well. So your churn rate of your cleaners has a direct impact on your revenue and your growth, but also there's a secondary negative effect in that the risk of client cancellation as a result of your cleaners leaving is also higher as well. So this is why it's super important that you really get on top of any high cleaner churn rates, because there is this double impact that you absolutely want to mitigate. So cleaner churn rate is as important. If you get your cleaner churn rate right, and if you are paying your cleaners well and you're engaging with them regularly, having say a coffee every month with them just to talk about how they are, you can talk about their clients, but also talk to them about their personal lives, feel like you're invested in how they are. And what you might find, and what is very common, is that maybe some things are happening in the cleaner's private life that are impacting them at work. Understanding that and trying to ask yourself how you can help them with that will just mean that your cleaners stay more engaged with you. Good cleaners will stay with you for longer. They will refer similar good quality people to you. And again, because they're staying for longer, there's no risk, or much lower risks, of your clients cancelling. So if you can get your cleaner churn rate nailed down, you're on a really great road, then it becomes a case of getting much more active with your marketing. And really, 9 times out of 10, the reason I find that people are struggling with their growth in their business is because of this point 2, their marketing. That you have a client churn rate that you need to make up for every month, but then you need to get much more aggressive with your marketing. Your marketing needs to grow as your business grows, because if you are spending say $1,000 a month when you're at $10,000 a month revenue, that 1,000 isn't going to have nearly the same positive impact if you're spending 1,000 a month and you're at 20,000 a month, because you'll be getting more clients churning off your platform. Marketing is super important, and lack of marketing is really 9 times out of 10 the major issue that you'll get. So in this next video, I'm going to talk about the top 5 marketing channels I think there are in terms of getting new clients in your cleaning business. If you get this nailed down, you'll never have an issue with getting new leads, and what you'll find is that you will likely power through, and the growth of your business will continue to accelerate. So I'll see you on the next one.